Hey, do you ever dig your cleats in and play some baseball on the old video game console?
Yeah, I do occasionally. I'm not too bad, if I do say so myself.
And what about ditching the comfort of your living room and heading down to the Rogers Center for some Blue Jays baseball?
I just did, actually, although it's been a bit of a rough ride for the Jays and their fans this year.
Yeah, that's the truth. But lots of the players are working hard to make sure that they cement their place in the show.
One of these players is pitcher Joe Biagini. He's in his second year in the league.
And he's been doing everything for the team. He's been a relief pitcher, a starter, and even a closer for a few games.
Ottawa's Dave Brown caught up with Joe just before the season began at spring training to find out more about being a young player breaking into the league.
Before we even got to talking baseball, Joe Biagini showed off his attention to detail by picking fluff off our microphone. We got to bring you in as a producer next season.
I mean, I might need a job. You never know.
And checking out my press credentials.
Oh my goodness, look at this guy.
Yeah, that's me with those sunglasses
Wow.
on. With my identity verified, it was time to get down to business. I wanted to know what it was like for Joe making his debut in the big leagues last season.
I was struggling with it pretty much the whole season because I needed to kind of compartmentalize everything and just figure out, okay, what are things that I need to appreciate, what are things that I need to just kind of stay focused on and like block out. And that whole experience has been really, just, it seems like yesterday before I made it to the big leagues, but it also seems like at the beginning of last year was a long time ago. And you kind of change a lot, but you stay the same person and kind of apply those things that you learned to, how you go into the next season.
Joe says that the time he spent chasing his dream of being in the major leagues weighed heavily on him while working through his first season.
For 15 or 20 years almost dreaming about getting here, I got so used to the habit of just thinking, make it, try to get there. And then when you get there, it's hard to transition that thought from trying to get there to actually being there and what it's going to be like actually being in this experience. And I remember talking to Russell Martin, our catcher, the other day, and he was saying it took him like 3 seasons before he really like settled in and realized what, was going on. And so, you spend all that time in your, previous lifetime kind of leading up to this moment, and then you actually have that moment, and it's sometimes hard to give it justice at the time because you got to stay focused. You got to do your job and make sure that you're, allowing yourself to maximize opportunity.
And even well into the year, his mind was still testing him.
In August of last season, pretty deep into the season, I had a dream that I was still like trying to make the team in spring training, and I woke up in my apartment in Toronto and like looked around for a second to make sure. I was like, oh yeah, I actually did make it.
And now that he's in his second year and establishing himself as an important member of the Blue Jays, Joe has shifted his goals.
I had to change my mindset from, okay, try to get there for me, to now I'm like, I've been kind of injected into the middle of this whole experience. I've been placed in this position on this team that's really good and has a lot of really good players. Now you have to help this team win. It's not about you. I mean, it never was totally about me, hopefully, in the minor leagues, because you don't want to be selfish and you don't want to be a bad teammate or whatever. But, a little bit of you in the back of your mind is like, okay, this isn't the final level. This isn't the final goal. And now here, it's like it's hard to realize, that there's no more higher level than this. That this is it. This is where you need to put into practice what you've been preparing for your whole career.
We really enjoyed catching up with Joe, and he seemed to like it too, because on his way out of practice, he blew us a kiss.
Joe seems like a fun guy. Dave told me that he really had a great time with him.
It's actually quite refreshing to be able to hear a professional athlete sharing their personality.
I know what you mean. Joe garnered a little bit of fame last offseason over a missed high five when he attended the taping of a Jimmy Fallon show. He was invited back and eventually got his high five from Jimmy.
What a happy ending. Remember that you can actually catch live Described games on AMI TV this season. Check out the schedule at ami.ca/Blue Jays.
The Jays did a bit of a roster reshuffling this month and sent Joe down to AAA Buffalo, but once the rosters expand in September, Joe will likely get called back up and keep pursuing that major league dream.